Hello and welcome to MindshareTV. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, founder and president of MindShare Learning Media. We're thrilled to be returning once again as an official media partner for FETC 2026 in beautiful Orlando, Florida, and equally excited to be hosting our 34th CanAm Celebration of Excellence VIP Networking Reception, a significant event where Canadian and U.S. education leaders come together to celebrate innovation, collaboration, and forging awesome partnerships. Today, we're bringing you an exclusive sneak peek of the Future of Education Technology Conference, FETC 2026, taking place January 11th to the 14th in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Joining us is one of the most influential leaders in the edtech space, Jennifer Womble, who is the chair of FETC. Jennifer has dedicated her career to elevating professional learning, shaping transformative conference experiences, and spotlighting innovations driving the future of education. Welcome to MindShareTV, Jennifer. It's always a pleasure to connect and host you, and thank you for presenting at our Canadian EdTech AI Summit recently in Toronto.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here to talk about our event, but I loved every minute of your event this year. What an incredible venue. The energy that you had, we want to bottle that up and bring it to Florida because those were some very incredibly insightful conversations. And I am really excited that we see this momentum about professional learning and what's happening in EdTech. And we're just going to continue to build on the momentum you started.
Well, thank you so much. Very kind words, very humbling. But I also want to say that you're an incredible human being. You're so thoughtful and giving and supporting everyone in EdTech. You travel to all these events to support and speak and really help with the diffusion model strategy in helping teachers, help students thrive in the age of AI. And I would be remiss to say that you are a CanAm award winner, Lifetime Achievement Award winner at that. So, and most deserving from our summit. And it was so wonderful to host you. And I'm so excited to learn more about what's happening with FETC. Talk to me about a little bit, we were talking off air, a little bit about the history. This is not your first rodeo. You've been there 15 years. It's over 40 years now that it's been in existence. What was the inspiration? And yeah, give me a little bit about the history so people appreciate the impact that FETC has made in the state of Florida and well beyond, because you have at least 50 countries that attend every year as well.
Yeah. Exactly. So thank you, of course, for being here. And I want to also say a special thank you for the award that I received at your event. It's very humbling to be a part of a community that realizes that the power of what we do is connection. And so I am incredibly grateful to be connected to our folks and our friends in Canada, because you guys have provided some of the best startups, the best companies, the best ideas. You know, the AI report that you guys are publishing is really helping inspire American schools and what they're doing. So I really want to just thank you for that opportunity. And hopefully at FETC, we have been able to build a partnership with our Canadian friends, right? And we are so excited every year to host the reception that just keeps growing and growing and growing, that demonstrates that need for interconnectedness between each other in this time of overwhelming change. And so what happened with FETC in our history is the same thing. There was a time where technology became available and people in schools were trying to figure out, how do we do this and make the most out of it? So a group of IT directors in Tampa, Florida, in 1981 said, hey, there's this new thing called hardwire internet coming, and we need to figure out how to put it into schools, how to maximize this with teachers. What are we going to do and how are we going to do it? So they went to the Department of Education and they said, we need to host a meeting of everybody in the whole state and get together and figure this out, because more minds together is better, right? And so that's how FETC was formed. And so we've been in Orlando for the last 45 years, and that's our home base. We actually just signed the contract for 2037. So
Wow.
the future is bright. The future is bright. We're going to continue to be in Orlando. It's a great place. International flights, it's easy to get to. It's always sunny in the winter. It's a beautiful facility. So it's great. And we have grown into both a national and international event. And this year, I'm really proud to say we have 17 state partners. We have built a state partnership alliance. So with other ed tech groups in other states. And so I do spend time
Wow.
going to their events, helping them grow and elevate the voices that are making a difference in each state, bringing those to FETC. We're going to have an innovation showcase of all the best practices from all the different states, because ultimately what we want to happen at FETC is to scale the very best ideas and the best
Amazing.
implementations and the best technology that's happening. So let's figure out how to scale these great ideas and make teaching and learning better.
Brilliant. So if I fast forward to 2036, that will be the 35th anniversary of MindShare Learning. And I'm hoping that I might have segued out by that time, because we're celebrating 25 years. I've been in edtech 30 years, but hey, it's always a challenge to surpass Kathy Hurley in her career of 50 plus years.
So many exciting things are happening, and so many technologies are coming to us. Constantly renewing environment. We're constantly trying to find new ways to implement technology and new ways to teach. And so because that's happening, we don't feel young. We don't feel like we're just getting started. It's constantly evolving.
Amazing. So we see rapid advancements in AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and digital equity initiatives. Which emerging trends do you anticipate will have the strongest presence at FETC 26?
Yeah, we definitely have a really strong lineup this year. We divide our content into 8 tracks so we can best serve each role in a school district. So whether you're a district administrator, an IT leader, a school leader, a classroom leader, we have really segmented the content to help you find what you need at this essential time. One of the things that we really are trying to focus on this year is how are humans integrating the tools and augmenting their work with either AI or immersive technologies. I really feel like immersive technologies are the future. We've really dedicated a lot of space on our show floor to an immersive pavilion. We actually have, for the first time ever, here's our first sneak peek. For the first time ever, we have a VR classroom that is every single participant in this room over all 4 days. Every session, all 19 sessions in that room, are in a virtual reality headset. So
Wow.
attendees will have the opportunity to go and participate in a session and see what is it like to teach in VR for math, or for English class, or for social studies class, or for professional development. So I really feel like the value of a conference is having a personal experience that then inspires you when you get back to your district to do something new or different. So we know we've got a lot of interest in how to leverage AI. So we're hosting an AI summit before on the pre-conference day, and we're hosting an AI summit for leaders on the closing day. And then we've got content all in between it, sessions, theaters, roundtables, any which way you feel most comfortable learning, just about, we're offering it. But I think what you're going to see is a lot of how do we actually leverage AI in classrooms and schools, and how do we actually leverage immersive learning to be more engaging. And really, that's what we've been trying to do, is create this personalized learning space for a long time. And now the technology is here, and that's really exciting.
Amazing. And I see Alana Winnick, who keynoted at our summit last year, is a keynote at yours as well. We're in good company.
Yeah. So what's really interesting is she is bringing both students and her superintendent. So her keynote this year is going to be really insightful, because she is going to be looking through multiple lenses. So not just how do we use AI, but how is student voice being amplified? How do students feel about AI? How does leadership attacking AI? So the stage is going to be really exciting, because it's not going to be just one person, but you're going to be hearing from multiple voices, because that's the reality of a school district. It is everybody all together. We're really better together. So we need that student voice. We need our leadership voice. We need our practitioner. And she was the COSIN, IT leader of the year. So she has been implementing this work and is really a role model to people in other districts of how to move forward.
what's fascinating about that is that we embraced that notion of community, and the theme was around empowering sustainable human-centered learning in an AI-inspired world, and with the ecosystem represented. So to your point, and it's very on point, is that we had students, teachers, ed leaders, ed techs, policymakers, and higher ed represented as well. And that created such a dynamic vibe. And to the point where my co-chair, who teaches economics 101 on a Monday morning, said, I'm in this lecture hall on Mondays, and there is no comparison to the vibe here versus walking in and you can hear a pin drop when you're teaching economics 101. And so it really reinforced the reality that as we're going through this transformative period, as you alluded to, that was the inspiration for the origins of FETC back when we were getting connected to the internet. Right. Here we are, fast forward 40 plus years, and it's now people are referring to it as the fourth industrial revolution. We need to be inclusive, and being inclusive is so critical. And kudos to you for harnessing that energy of this stakeholder community. So FETC is known for its strong learning tracks. Which track strands are most exciting to highlight, and how are they evolving to meet the needs of today's learner? And I think I can actually pull some of those up as we're
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, what's really interesting this year is we have gone to a model where people can pre-register for their workshops. And that, just like a great school is using data to make an experience better for students, we're using data to make the experience better for our attendees. So what we've seen already from that data collection is that among the people who've already pre-registered in our district leader track, for example, a majority of the people are very interested in change management. A lot of emphasis on how do we tackle a lot of change? How do we work with staffs to have our workforce trained in new ways? And, so you think about this kind of huge wave of things happening all at one time with staff turnover, new technologies, attendance issues, engagement issues, all kinds of things that education is, really looking at the same time. And these are all new things that they're navigating for the first time. It almost feels like, COVID again, where there's all these new things are happening.
Right.
So how do leaders tackle those change? So all of our sessions on change management, leadership focus, really full to the brim. In our classroom leaders and school leader tracks, we're seeing a huge emphasis on AI integration. A lot of people are interested in how do we integrate this? How do we use it? So, this big toolbox of ed tech companies and products has come out over the last 2 or 3 years. But now we're really sitting back and looking at the pedagogy and going, how do we integrate this effectively? What are we doing on our day-to-day basis to augment the human in the room, to give them the power and empower them with these AI tools? And it's also changing a mindset. Our educator workforce has to have a new mindset about how to leverage AI, and that we're asking them to do something they were never trained to do. So how do we train everybody on AI? We have 3 million teachers in America alone.
Wow.
How do we make sure they're all AI literate and they all AI fluent so that they can actually help their students be empowered by using AI? So these are the areas we're seeing the most interest right off the bat.
Right.
Our immersive sessions, leveraging AR and VR already filling up really strongly. There's a huge interest now that people understand, when VR first came out, our conferences, it was a cardboard box you stuck your phone in.
Right.
And so that technology is so evolved into a Meta Quest, and we've got a great, sponsor in Meta. And what people are wanting to understand is, what does this look like when you're learning in a new immersive space? It's screenless. Right. So it's a screenless technology we've been talking about. It's seamless AI. How does it look and feel as a group when you're in the metaverse? And people want to experience that. Now that you can buy a set of VR headsets. You can go to Lenovo and buy a classroom set, and now a teacher can use it and check it out. All the content and the devices have now become in a way where schools are ready for it. So that's kind of an exciting approach too. And who knows, those AI glasses, we can now see holograms. We can now
Yeah,
see maps. So
I love the in picture, like the fighter jet pilots, right? You have on
yes,
screen ability to, I could be reading my script from my glasses. They have that ability today, which is pretty cool. But I would be remiss if I didn't get you to give us a sneak peek at the exhibit hall and some of the focus and programs that you're offering there. I,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, so we have 450 companies this year. And we are presenting incredible toolbox of all the things that you can pick from. Superintendents in the United States are really looking to build their budgets by February each year. So this is the perfect time for them to see the new products coming to market, think about their visions for the next year. So there's a huge emphasis, and we've got a special pavilion on cybersecurity. So we host both a school safety and security pre-conference because, and you may know, in America, the safety of our schools is now the number one priority is keeping our students and teachers safe.
mhm,
And there's a lot of incredible technology that has come to market to help administrators do that. So we also have all of those products for school safety and then for cyber safety. So we offer training in cyber security all on our pre-conference day. Our IT summit is already filling up. That's incredibly popular with a focus on cybersecurity and PII and all of the ethical issues that we're dealing with student privacy right now. So you're going to see a pavilion on that. We have an esports pavilion, which is one of the fastest growing areas, and their close tie to CTE programs has really made their growth exponential
right.
with an arena that CDW where people can come and play and experiment. There's an immersive pavilion this year. So there's a lab there that Jamie Donnelly is leading where you can come and experiment and play with lots of different types of immersive technologies. It's always fun to get your hands dirty. So we've got a maker space on Monday all day where people can
Wow.
experiment with 3D printers, laser cutters. That same space on Tuesday becomes a robotics lab. So taking a look
So
at
cool.
what robotics are coming. So the expo floor is a fun place to kind of see things, play with things. And if you're not sure where to begin, we offer expo hall tours. So I asked my featured speakers, hey, will you go pick your 10 favorite booths? And then people can meet you. I give them a flag, just like they're at Disney World with a microphone, and they take attendees on a tour and show them their favorite booths. They're also role modeling. How do we talk to companies? How do we start the conversations about what we need in our products?
That's
These
brilliant.
two-way conversations, right? So we need to model that. So the expo hall floor is very busy. Oh, and I do see there, you've got our Pitch Fest. We're doing something totally new this year with Pitch Fest. All of our startup companies are actually applying and submitting videos before the event this year. Then we have a panel of superintendents who are going through each of them and selecting the top ones. And then we're going to allow the attendees on site to vote for their favorite. So our Pitch Fest this year is going to be a fan favorite. And
I
so
love
I'm
that.
really interested because I think the feedback from schools is really important in developing new products. And we need to build bridges between schools and products for more piloting, for more research. So we're going to let the attendees give feedback. And then we're going to have a final Pitch Fest in the IT theater on Monday and announce the winners. So I'm always excited to see what new products are coming to market.
And you always manage to have a Canadian company or two pitching. I was just speaking with James from Cyber Legends, who won in the past.
Yes,
And
you guys have had winners that have gone on to take that fame and become unicorns and become some of the
well,
best and brightest in ed
and
tech.
that's right. And let's talk about that for a moment. And Grade Slam became paper learning. And I think that's really great inspiration for some of these ed techs who are kind of wondering whether they should come and dip their toe or not. Grade Slam won our startup challenge, which put them in the startup area of your pavilion with a kiosk. And Phil Cutler went on to become a unicorn during COVID. And you really helped provide a launch pad for them at FETC. And ultimately, where did they end up? They became a lead sponsor, I believe, a number of years ago. Sorry, I'm losing you a little bit there. Yeah. That was
one of our main real inspirations is to be able to elevate the very best ideas and help them come to scale, right? So if there are early stage companies that have these great ideas that are research proven, that are making a difference, we really want to elevate and amplify their voices and get them out there. So we really try. We've seen that last year. Llama won our contest. They went on to South by Southwest and won there. They went on to other events, and it really helped magnify their voice in the industry. And it also the fact that superintendents in our district administration magazine board, is looking through these applications. We're putting our stamp of approval on there that school districts find these tools useful too. So it's not just that somebody's making something they think will be interesting. It's that districts see a need for this, and they're giving, the back of this is something viable that we should be looking at in the future.
Amazing. And I love your theme of the conference. It's game changers.
Yeah. Right? So those of us that remember the Atari days, right? Yeah. I love this. I love this year. Really everybody in education right now, if you are a classroom leader, you're a game changer. You are having to really make a difference in the lives of students, think about things in a different and new way. All of our IT directors are doing some of the most amazing work across the country right now, supporting networks in ways we never dreamed of. AI, what we don't talk about a lot, puts a lot of pressure on our bandwidth and on our schools. So our IT directors and our school leaders are having to think about things in new and different ways. So we really were thinking about this year in a way of like, we really are game changers. We are really redesigning what schools look like and feel like in this new age of AI. And that's exciting. So we wanted to put a fun twist on it because we know that which is learned in pleasure is never forgotten. So we want people to have a good time and have a lot of fun, as well as go away with a lot of learning.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen a few book launches at FETC as well.
As a matter of fact, yeah, we have a meet the author, actual whole theater booth area. And so there are 3 different authors every half hour who are there to share their books and their insight. A lot of the people in education spend all year trying to learn new pedagogical strategies, new professional learning paths. And so they get to come and meet those authors, talk to them, have a one-on-one conversation. Of course they can buy the books and talk to them and get more information. A lot of them end up having them come to their schools and speak to their teachers, but having that personal connection is really the most important thing that we feel at FETC. If you are at FETC, you should be able to make connections with people that do your same work, that are people that you admire and read and want to learn from, the people that are in positions like you, that then all throughout the year, you're still connected. So it's almost FETC for me is more like a celebration. It's more like a big party because you're connected to these people year round, but then we get to come and see each other and learn from each other. Brilliant. And so hopefully what we're doing with that is building more connections. And so that'll be really helpful this year.
Well, kudos to you for all that you've done for FETC as chair, Jen, and where you've taken it. There was a perception that it was a teacher conference. You clearly reinforced it's a conference for everyone, every stakeholder, from students to teachers to leaders to edtechs and startups. There's a program for everyone, and I'm really excited about being part of it. It's probably my 20 plus for me. I started coming out to FETC in 1997. I know I look a lot younger than I am, and thankfully I'm playing hockey after work today to keep me moving and youthful before I come down to Florida tomorrow.
Good. Well, stay safe too.
Yes.
I'll say I actually beat you just by a few years. My first presentation as a teacher, a beginning teacher, was in 1995 at FETC. So this is
so you were just out of university, and
exactly. And so I had a really insightful principal who was doing some great work with computers and helping students, catch up on their credits, very similar to what we're kind of doing today. And so that year when I presented, I realized that, this is the way you share what's working in your schools is to give it a national voice. And so that's what we're really, working on. And I'll tell you, our district administration side of the house works really hard. Our magazine, we have over
Right.
270,000 administrators across the country who depend on that news
Amazing.
every day.
Amazing.
And so they come to FETC, that we always say this is where superintendents come to talk ed tech. It is now the largest gathering of strategic decision makers in all of education. So we're really proud that DA Lounge and what we're offering superintendents and IT leaders is an opportunity to work at a conference together with all parts of the puzzle. You've got your academic officers, your technology officers, and your superintendents all together at the same conference. So they're speaking more the same language. And when that happens, that synergy is what really empowers technology to be integrated in ways that's really powerful for teachers and students.
Jennifer Womble, thank you so much for this today.
What a great opportunity. Thank you, Robert, for including me. I can't wait to see you in 37 days in Florida. And so we are really excited. And, I would be remiss if I didn't say, registration is still open. There's a lot of different levels of registration available, from free expo only all the way to the all access where you can get every single workshop. So we give a lot of different levels there and choices for what people can do over the 4 days. But we want you to come have a professional experience. We do everything from offer you open bar receptions. We're going to have the first ever nighttime drone show in the sky put on by students. So cool. I'm really excited about that. We have lunch vouchers are included. So we want you on Monday and Tuesday to have lunch with a colleague and reflect on what you're learning. So we want you to come feel like you're in a professional network and then stick with us all year round so we can continue to have these connections.
Well, kudos for building community and making it so inclusive this year. Jennifer Womble, thank you again for joining us, sharing this exclusive look at what's ahead for FETC 2026. It's clear that this year's event is shaping up to be one of the most innovative and best ever. We at MindShare Learning Media are honored to return as a media partner. We look forward to hosting our 34th CanAm Celebration of Excellence VIP networking reception, bringing together visionary leaders from across Canada and the United States. For more information, visit FETC.org or MindShareLearning.ca for continual updates. Looking forward to my trip this weekend down to connect with some friends in Florida and in the edtech space. My name is Robert Martellacci. Thanks for tuning in to MindShareTV. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.